Hey, long time no see, everybody. Yeah, it's been a little over a month, and I know that we said that it was going to be done, but well, we both decided that this is so much fun to do, and it gives us something to look forward to that we decided to get the shindig back together.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, right now I'm currently waiting for the Persona live stream. It's gonna probably be the longest live stream I've ever seen for gaming, lasting for 30 hours.
Now, how do you think they're going to facilitate that much time? I mean, I know that they could oh yeah, we're putting out another movie, another game, but 30 hours is pretty excessive.
It is quite a bit, which a lot of people, a lot of the fans that I've been seeing on the forums are asking why is this really necessary to be going on for such a long time? And I understand where they're coming from. I mean, it is quite a long live stream, but what they're gonna do, from what I had seen of the notes, is that they want to talk about the history of Persona. They want to talk about where it all started, where is it going, the lore behind it, and basically try to touch on the fact that the fan base right now is pretty hardcore for Persona 3 and Persona 4 fans. I mean,
Gee, I never would have guessed.
they got quite a bit of stuff coming out here pretty soon, not just with another game, but they got Persona 5, they got Dancing All Night, they got a concert DVD that they're releasing. They can go on to that stuff. They could be talking about the Persona 3 movie that's going to be released on Blu-ray here in a month, or the new one that's going to come out in the summer. So there's quite a bit that they could talk about, but I already foresee a lot of it as filler content, where
I wonder if it'll be at the end, the last couple hours, all of a sudden, by the way, bam, 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 here's some here's the new games coming out, and we're this far, and just getting a bunch of crazy stuff out all at once.
Well, right now, a lot of the fans are really looking forward to this because of the fact that months ago, what had happened was a lot of people stayed up and they saw new Persona news come up, and all of a sudden that's when they announced Persona 5, and of course I freaked the fuck out because I knew it was coming, and then sure enough, there it was, and it was, oh my god, I was so happy, I was crying.
Nice.
But the next game show that came up, it was a lot of the fans were expecting the next trailer or the next unveiling of the other characters, but it was the same exact trailer. So
that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it's you go to see Metal Gear Solid 5, and then you're like, oh, it's been 4 months, so now a new trailer's gonna be shown. It's gonna be awesome, and it's the same exact one, so it's disappointing.
Yeah.
So right now, I know that a lot of the fans are anxious to see if they're going to have anything for it, because the game is released this year, and all we have for it so far is just one trailer that shows the lead character, and that was it. So it's okay, well, kind of want a little bit more at this point.
All right, that's understandable. Yeah, I actually had a gentle surprise when, and we'll get to the games we've been playing, but I went to GameStop the other day and was picking up some games and had the gentle, subtle my fiance would tell you that I freaked the fuck out. Surprise, when I saw them with a sign, you know how they have for all their reserves, they have it, you can reserve Metal Gear 5 now. And I was like, the fuck? And I look, and they have it slated on their sheets for April 1st.
You mean for April Fool's Day?
Well, and see, that was my thing. I'm like, I went up to the guy working at GameStop, and, you know, didn't really have a lot of faith in his answer because, well, come on. And he told me, he's like, well, it's not really for sure going to be the release date. That's just what they have. What they're saying is like, oh yeah, have it around April, and then, you know, anybody reserves it, like, we'll know, like, well, oh yeah, it's coming out on this day. So I'm like, well, I don't care, I'm just gonna reserve it now. So yeah, I was definitely surprised because last I knew, and I might want to throw out there that because I'm such a huge Metal Gear fan, I have been staying away from everything from it. Unless it has something to do with a release date, I don't want to know anything about it because I don't want spoilers for any characters, any character designs. I don't want any of it. I want it to be like I'm playing and all of a sudden, you know, some fucking lizard king macho man Randy Savage jumps out and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass, Snake. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh shit. So,
And all of a sudden he becomes the Intercontinental Champion.
I'm afraid I got some bad news for you.
Yeah, I can understand that. For myself, like I want to see the news for Persona 5 because of the fact that it's just like, you know, one trailer is cool and all, but I'd really like to see a lot more once it's like closer to release date. Then I know that they're gonna be like, well, here's like a video of the battle system. I'll be like, nah, I don't need to see that. I can wait to see how it is. But you know, I do want to see like what these characters look like, and most important of all, I know Elizabeth won't be in it, which is the favorite character of the series for me, but I want to see who they're gonna have in the Velvet Room, which I'm hoping for another female to be in there because they've been doing a great job on having those, but we'll see. Could be in for a surprise.
Right. So, let's get to the fun stuff here. What you been playing?
It's kind of a funny question because of the fact that, like...
Wait, hold on. I wanna make a cameo come in right here. You hear that?
Nice.
That was Surge coming into the podcast.
Hello, Surge.
Hello there, friend.
Been kind of dabbling a bit into a lot of games, but not like really playing too many all the way through. Mostly just because kind of get into this vibe where it's like I want to check out a game for a while, then after like 2 hours or so, and you're just like, oh, that was interesting, but I'm not really like drawn into it because there's like no story. You know, it's part of the reason why I couldn't really play a lot of other games because of the fact that there's nothing to really like keep me involved, you know?
Well, you don't have to have a game, I would say, that is a 70-hour game that you know,
No.
for you right now. Like, you can do something simple like my son and I, we played the DuckTales
like
game,
how,
you know?
That's how a lot of, you know, because obviously every gamer is different. You have like the Call of Duty fans that really want to, you know, be on top of the charts and the scoreboards, and then you have, you know, somebody like you that can play with your son or April. And for myself, like, I can play a game like Tetris for like a couple minutes, but then it's just like, well, what am I really doing here? And then I'll just turn it off and put on something else, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And I've been trying to do that where I find some games that I can play with my son, so that way, you know, he's home and awake and I want to play video games. It's like, okay, well, I can't play, you know, Far Cry 4. Some people would not agree with, you know, shooting dudes in the face with a bow, you know, in front of your 5-year-old. So, you know, I've been sticking with DuckTales, and he loved that game. Loved it. And between him and I, we went through the game, and we completed the game 100%, you know, all the trophies and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we played Mickey Mouse's Castle of Illusion. Which, you know, in all fairness, I want to say the game took us about, I don't know, 4 hours to beat. And it wasn't too bad. I mean, I've played worse games.
Well, it's an older game, so I mean, you can't really have too much expectations.
Well, we played the remake that they did for PS3. Because they had that on the PlayStation Plus, where it was a bundle with the remake and the original. And ain't no way in hell I'm gonna play the original. I don't want my son to see me cursing and screaming because of Nintendo difficulty.
Nintendo hard.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. We've been playing that, and today, and this is the game I've been playing the past, 3 or 4 days. I finally dipped into the bowl that is Atlas and got Citizens of Earth. And man, this game is so much fun. So much fun. It's got without making it sound like a cheap ripoff, it's so much like Earthbound. It's just ridiculous. But, you know, instead of, 4 characters, you can have 40.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. But it's got the hippies and the fighting system's the exact same. It's just been fun, and I've probably put in about 12 hours into the game now. And I know that this game I'm probably gonna end up putting 30 to 40, depending on how the difficulty spikes and trying to get all the trophies and all that, which don't seem too hard.
Right.
So
I had known about the game a while back. I remember when I had first saw it and was telling you guys about it, because as soon as I saw it, that was the first thought was the similarities it had to Earthbound. And generally, a lot of the games, if I usually tag somebody for a game or suggest it to them, it's usually because of the fact that I know kind of what they're into, and so it's kind of this is what you're into based off my personal gaming experience and what I've heard this game might be for you, and then it's for that one I knew, well, this is Earthbound type stuff based off this trailer, so maybe these people will be into it. So it's kind of cool to see. I've seen a couple of different people posting about it and saying that they're loving it. So I'm pretty happy because Atlas definitely deserves all the attention that they're getting right now.
Right. And right now, I don't know how long this is going on, but if anybody has been interested in the title or just you're curious now, because I'm telling you right now, this game is so much fun. It's like Super Nintendo RPG, it's Super Nintendo type graphics, maybe a touch better.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely
it's just fun. It's a fun RPG. It's not like serious like Final Fantasy. You know, it's just silly in a good way. But it's on PSN. I just got it for 11.
right.
But I think that the full retail is only like 13 or 14. So, you know, I don't know. I think it's worth it. Just pick it up, give it a shot. You know, it just does seem a lot of fun. But because I've been playing that, like I said. But my next game, well, I've got a couple actually. I have seriously fallen in love with Telltale. Like, their style of gaming is, you know, that choose your own adventure type gig.
Which is funny because I was actually going to ask you about if you had played the Game of Thrones games, because the fact that like it's been so quiet. Like, I go onto Facebook and nobody has said anything about it. So it's like, well, either it's like really shitty, nobody wants to like admit that they played it, or it's just nobody has played it.
Well, there is outside of Telltale. I just want to say this real quick. There is the Game of Thrones game for PS3. That game, I had so many hopes and dreams, and it just had the shittiest ratings. Like, and like looking at it and looking at the battle system, it was just looked really bad. So I was like, eh. But you know what? It's funny because like going to the Telltale gig, The Walking Dead. You look at the Telltale game, and that's put up on a pretty high pedestal. Whereas, and I'm sure there's fans of the game. There always are. The Walking Dead Survival Instincts, or I think is what it's called.
Oh yeah, with Daryl Dixon.
That game was shit. It was so bad. So, going back again. I do have the game, the Game of Thrones Telltale game, but I just got it, like, 3 days ago, and when I downloaded them, it was that and Citizens of Earth were both downloading at the same time, and I knew that the Game of Thrones game would obviously be shorter. Generally a chapter in the Telltale games are, hour or two, depending on how much you're gonna explore and, whatnot. But I decided to play Citizens of Earth first because after playing my last major game, well, I mean, besides DuckTales and stuff, I'm not going to count that. But I just got done playing Far Cry, and it was a very serious game. I mean, yeah, there are, some comedic moments, but I wanted to play through a game that was going to be a little bit more lax and just humor, because anybody who's a fan of Game of Thrones knows that the game is probably going to be full of, a lot of shock value. There's going to be some crazy stuff that happens that's very serious, and I just didn't want to do that yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all about balance. I feel like you have to balance out a serious game with a kind of a lighthearted game, and so that way you don't get yourself like so burned out. So, but yeah, that's I mean, besides a couple other games that I picked up that are just kind of for multiplayer, that's it. Like, pretty much been sticking with fun games for my son and but I do have those other games to play when he's not around.
Right, because you're not gonna play every game around your kid.
Oh no, yeah. I try not to be that bad of a parent.
with myself, like I've been having that dilemma though, where it's like, I play a couple of games here and there for just a little bit, but I mostly blame the fact that I have the PlayStation Now subscription at the moment, and so it's like I'm trying to, I have suddenly 100 games that I can play, so it's just like, well, which one do I want to play, or which one do I want to check out? And so I've played so many different random ones on there just for S&Gs, just to see what they're like. Like if I loaded up my PS4 right now, I think it's like I have almost all the Sonic games right there.
Nice.
I played some Planet Mini Golf game where it's just like, at first it's like, oh, this is pretty easy. Like you sit there, you aim, and then you have to, the strength of how hard you hit the ball. But it's just like there's times when it's like you're trying to press X because you don't want to see like the recap slow motion video of how you hit the ball, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you hit X, that means that you just hit the ball, and it's just a tap. You're like, damn it.
Nice.
But then it's like, once you bump it up the difficulty just like one notch, oh my god, it gets ridiculous. Like all of a sudden it's they have you on top of a bridge, and it's like, oh well, all the boards are broke except for this like slim 2-inch board that you have to get this whole freaking gap through. What the? I can't hit a golf ball through that. Screw this game.
You just gotta believe.
Right. But I do not believe in me putting that fucking ball across that board. I played Sniper Elite or Elite Sniper. I forgot the name of it. That game was pretty cool.
My future father-in-law actually was recommending that game to me too. He's like, yeah, it's really cool how you take the shot and it just kind of slows down, and you can like see the bullet kind of go through the person and like destroy certain organs and stuff.
Yep. I showed it to Kiki and he was like, holy shit, it's pretty fucking amazing.
Now, don't they actually have, and I could be wrong here, isn't the third installment of that coming out on PS4 here pretty soon?
I don't know. Because while I do think the game itself is pretty neat for what it's doing, it's not a game that I could really foresee myself like wanting to go out and buy.
Oh wow. You said Sniper Elite, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It's coming out. Oh no, it is out. It is out. And it's got really good reviews. Like,
well, I can imagine
high reviews.
But it's just, while playing the game, it's like, this is okay fun. It's not like mind blowing, but it's fun to sit there and just pull up on PlayStation Now and then play through it. And then this weekend I just tried Red Faction Guerrilla Warfare, I think it's called.
Yes.
That game is ridiculous. I mean, it's just straight up ridiculous. You start off with a sledgehammer, and it apparently is like freaking Thor's hammer or something, because you run up to buildings and you just start hitting any building can be destroyed. And so you'll sit there and you like swinging your sledgehammer and knocking down the beams, and then this whole tower will fall down, and it's just ridiculous to watch and do.
Nice.
So that's been pretty fun.
Those kind of games are fun too, though. I mean, when you can, kind of going also with that sniper game, like, I don't know, getting to have those kind of mechanics in a game is really it's really cool because it makes it stand out. You know, instead of like, you know, well, Call of Duty, you shoot your sniper rifle, and okay, yeah, you can kill a dude, that's cool and all, but I don't know, just having those extra things in there really make it, you know, special.
Yeah, I thought it was really awesome to sit there and make like whole freaking buildings fall down. So yeah, I had a bit of fun with that. I don't know if it's again a game that I would sit there and go off to buy per se, because it's it's got the annoyance that like you go in, you kill everybody, and everything is fine. You're trying to do the rest of your mission with, you know, going to get this person.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, enemies respawn out of thin air. Like you'll walk through a room, and all of a sudden you're being shot at, and it's showing on your map that all these red dots are right behind you because the enemies just appeared.
The whole time you're going, what the hell?
Right. That's pretty much my response. It's like, what the
fuck?
Yeah, they'll sit there and they'll knock your life bar down without even freaking trying too hard. So it's a bit frustrating. So I play it every bit or so. Then after a while, it's like, okay, I've got my kick. I tried the Transistor game today for a little bit.
Yes.
I kind of had different expectations, so I tried it out, and it was all right. I mean, I am sad to say that I'm glad I didn't buy it. I mean, it does look pretty.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately that the game just doesn't. I don't know. It's one of those games that's really hard to describe. Like, I like what they're trying to do, but it's just not fully there.
No, admittedly, I saw the trailer on that, and I was, I just was not interested. It just did not look good to me. So, I mean, I don't know. Of all the PlayStation games that came out this month, I guess really none of them jumped out at me. And looking at them all, I'm like, I mean, except for the one, Rogue
Legacy.
Yeah, Rogue Legacy. That one kind of looked like a mix of like Castlevania and Metroid.
I haven't tried it yet. I kind of looked at it briefly. I'll give it a shot. I'm kind of happy to see like different titles appearing for like the PS3 side, but it's like, okay, Thief alone is 6 gigs, and it's like, well, that's normal. Kind of sucks that's a large file, but whatever, no big deal. But then it's like I go off and look at Yakuza 4, and it's a 22 gig file, and it's like, I am not going to download that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll put it into my download queue for now, and if maybe someday I want to play it, it'll be there. But I don't know, kind of dabbling around a little bit. But I foresee myself just kind of drifting back into just playing some sort of Atlas game, because that's what it seems to always be. I'll try all these different games, and then it's like, those games are neat, and then I'll go back to Atlas games.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the reason why I try not to play too many games at once, and that's the problem too. Is like, yeah, you play one game for longer than you anticipate, and you get kind of a backlog of these other titles, and you're like, you just kind of forget about them until one day you're looking at all your games and you're going, oh crap, I forgot I bought that game to play, and oh well. Well, that noise that you heard was the sound of me losing internet connection with my brother, and so Skype, of course, was closed down. But we are going to go ahead and try and do these podcasts again every week, and any kind of support that you guys could give, whether it be wanting to come on and discuss with us, or just a quick message saying pros and cons of our podcasts. We like hearing the positive and want to know what we have to do to make them better so that we can have more people listen. So I guess I will close this up with a thank you to everybody who has listened to the podcast that we have done thus far, and please share and try to get it out so we can have some more people listen, because it is pretty sweet when you have more than just a couple people listen to these things. They do take time. So anyways, we will see you guys next time, and hopefully we'll have a longer podcast with no internet problems. Later.